What's up, everybody? So, I made a video. I don't know when I made the video. I think it's like a week ago, if I remember. It was a video about how Genshin needs to change the endgame. And the idea I presented in that video was, oh, they can add a new gear thing called runes. Or something equivalent to runes like amulets, gems, whatever fits into this game's lore, if that makes any sense. But it would be, I, alright, let's just break this down. So what I was thinking, I tried to set my controller down to talk, and I'm sorry, someone just bye. If you've been watching this video, so you're probably used to it. But what I was thinking was, what I was thinking was the way this should work is it should be a system where it's not solely based on resin, but it can be, if that makes any sense. I think the way runes should work is that, and like this worked, and I got this mainly from playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because that game had runes, and it definitely made your builds and made your gameplay so much more diverse and fun. And I think in Genshin it can make building characters way funner and make it to where it's like, oh, it's not just, oh, for Zhao you two-piece, two-piece gladiators, two-piece viridescent. That's it. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? It can make the builds more diverse for each character. So basically my idea was we would have these big rune slots, which can do like some big thing, or you can store up to 3 smaller runes that do minute things. For example, like 5% attack, 5% cryo damage, 5%, crit rate. Those like smaller runes. But those smaller runes drop from like hilly churros, doing commissions, things that don't cost any resin. You can get those smaller runes. But also there's a device where you can transfer, like basically you can convert smaller runes, like for example 5, or like, because like if they dropped more recent, like more, and like, they drop more. I don't know the word for it. I'm sorry, I don't know the word for it. Like in abundance, I guess you can do 5. But if they don't drop that much, you can do like 3, like everything else in the game. You know what I mean? So let's say 3. You take 3 runes and you can convert those 3 smaller runes into a bigger rune. And let's use like diamond and circles, because in Valhalla they use circles as the smaller runes and diamonds as the big runes. The diamond runes does these big things. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like let's say like take weapon effects for example. I'm not gonna say like some crazy thing that makes it broken, so that one rune is better than everything. I'm gonna say something like this: you have big diamond runes that do like 35% attack. Your normals do 35% attack. Oh, your plunges do 35% attack. Or you see what I'm saying? And then you have like other effects like, oh, you're like 50% chance your normals can trigger like a vacuum, like kind of like this, like a vacuum, like special effects that aren't just on weapons, but now you can slot them into your character. You know what I'm saying? So it makes the build even more diverse. Like you don't have to just run two piece. Like a strict build, you can have whatever rune you want. But the thing is, I want to make this not broken, so I want to make it to where either it's one diamond rune and one small rune, or no small runes and one big rune, and if you don't put one big rune in, you can put 3 smaller ones in. So what my idea is, and who knows? I'm not saying this is a perfect idea. This was just off of the top of my head, me thinking a way to make this game more interesting. But the diamond runes drop from bosses. And what I mean by that, they have a percent drop, and I'm not talking about some small percent drop like prototype drops. I mean like a huge chance. Now from world bosses, weapon domains, and maybe talent domains. I don't want to say artifacts because I feel like that would be kind of a little bit of a cheaper way. I don't know, but one of these, you know what I mean? Bosses, talent domains. I thought weapon domains just simply because it's something you may be able to slot into weapons, and maybe weekly bosses. You know what I mean? If you want to farm strictly those, you can do that. But if you don't, you can farm smaller ones, convert them for a chance to get a good one. I think there should be a little bit RNG to it, but I don't think, I don't know. It could I ooh, I know exactly a great idea. So if you ever played the game Dauntless, there's perks. Are they called perks? I don't know if they're called perks. They're called cells. So they're called cells, right? And there's these things you slot in called cells. These cells eventually add up, and you have +6, and they do certain things. I'm not asking for that, but what I am saying is they have this machine where you can take like two different perks, and if you combine two power perks, they will create a power. They will only create a power perk. So basically, if you create like I think we should divide it up into like how they divide up into utility. Like, oh, if you hit an enemy, you get health back. That'll be like utility, life steal and stuff like that. And if you or like just straight power perks, like you get 20% attack. So basically, if you convert two 20%, like, well, no, not 20%, but if you convert two smaller runes, I know this is a little confusing. This is because I'm spitballing, but if you convert two smaller runes, like 5% attack, 5% attack here, and you convert them, it has 100% chance to generate a big diamond rune that's only power. That's the idea I'm coming up with, and that I think that can make this game really interesting, because the best part of Valhalla and Dauntless when it came to these perks and runes as things is that it made building characters and building builds so diverse. Like, of course, you're gonna have your best runes, you're gonna have your best artifacts. You know what I mean? You're gonna have the best of the best. That's just inevitable. There's gonna be things that are just better. But also, the beauty of it is that you can mix and match and play around with things. Like, the beauty of Dauntless and Valhalla was that you can mix and match. You can like throw on, you know, you can go a low life build. You can go a high health build where you stay always topped up, a tanker, a bruiser. You can do anything you want. And I think in Genshin it's a little bit limiting with what you can do. Like, you can make a character however you want, but it's like they're not going to be playing at their fullest potential. You know what I mean? In those games you can play at your fullest potential with any real build. For some reason you can't. I don't know why it's like that in Genshin, but characters just have a strict best build and that's it. And so I think runes can make that really interesting. But then again, that's just my idea and how I feel, and just one idea. If you have any ideas on ways to make Genshin endgame and content way funner in this game, you can comment it and we can talk about it. Because at the end of the day, right now, endgame is really boring. And I think we need to give Mihoyo some ideas from like other games. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking ideas from other games, I think. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to take ideas from other games to make your game even better. Like, that's just the way gaming is. We inspire and create off of one another. I think runes can make like standard boss fights just and everything just way more interesting, especially the way to farm for it being like a way to make it free to play as well. So it's not simply, oh, resin, 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 because right now everything's just resin, resin, resin. But I'm gonna stop rambling. That's my idea. I didn't really think all this. I mean, I did think it through a little bit, but like, it's just an idea I had. And I see in other games, and I think it makes other games way more interesting, and it can make Genshin super interesting. So that's all I really want to say. If you liked the video, like. If you didn't, dislike and tell me why. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Alright, that's all I gotta say. See ya.